missing things collected all over the building. Missing things collected all over the building.
At camp, we do the lost and found fashion show.
Put them all. Who's this? Look at this tiny sweatshirt.
Boker Tov. Oh, very hot. Boker Tov, everyone. Boker Tov. We are so excited. We have our Gesher students here with us, as well as many people from our community. And I think Rabbi Goodman is here with us. There we go. Thank you. And Iggy, right? Did I get that right? Yes. Okay, great. Perfect. Welcome, welcome. Wonderful to have you all joining us. And we are thrilled to welcome Cantor Rosalie Will back to us. We've been spending a whole Shabbat weekend together. Beautiful services on Friday and Saturday. Friday here and Saturday at Bris Shalom, which was just a wonderful experience to share community together with our entire Erie Jewish community, which we don't get to do often enough, but great to be able to do that. I'm going to thank the JCC, Jewish Community Council, for sponsoring the entire weekend and making it all possible. Big thanks to JCC. And with that, I will invite Cantor Will to lead us in a wonderful exploration of liturgy and songs of Israel, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Rabbi. We don't have words on our slides for this. I don't think we did, but for words that many of us know well, Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Just a way for us to remind ourselves how good it is for us to be able to be together, for people who can't always travel, for those who are here in person or who are watching online. We're together even in spirit across the miles with people we know, people we love. How good it is. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Most of the songs we will sing today, and we're going to watch some video also of some Israeli artists whose songs we could sing, but the way they deliver their work, or often they're in partnership, is an important part of how we think about Israeli music and how it influences American music. So we'll sing some things together, and then we'll watch some video as well. I wanted to start with an artist who many of us know, but many of us don't know that we know him. An Israeli artist named Tzvika Pik. How many of you know who Tzvika Pik is? Okay, good. He's considered the king of pop. He was born in 1949 in Poland. You don't necessarily think of that kind of person as a pop star, but necessarily. He moved from Poland when he was 8 to Israel, and he changed his name from Henrik to Tzvika. And he started in a teen band called the Echoes, and actually they asked him not to sing, he just played guitar and piano, but he eventually became known as a great singer. I think we're looking for Shechianu at some point. But in the late 70s, he wrote an album, actually it was called Music, and it revolutionized Israeli music. It was considered the first pop rock album, and we know two Tzvika Pik's songs. Good, yep, super. We know two songs of his. One is Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. So imagine in the 1970s, Israel, who's only a couple of decades old, and most of the people who prayed were Orthodox, and they chanted or they sort of sang. It was revolutionary to set Shema, this sacred text of the Jewish people, with a sort of contemporary beat. That's Tzvika Pik, and the other piece he wrote, which we know well, which we'll sing, just in gratitude for us to be together, is Shechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shechianu v'kimanu v'higianu azman hazeh. Amen. So he really is considered the first king of Israeli pop. He died this past August, and so there were the sort of stories written about him. And for Israel to really have lost someone who became really a founder of what it is for the Israeli pop music scene was dramatic. And for those of us in sort of Jewish music and liturgical circles in the States to have been so influenced with Shema and Shechianu. The other interesting thing about Tzvika Pik, his daughter is married to Quentin Tarantino. So there's that too. Which sadly probably impresses us more than the fact that he wrote, Shema, but no judgment here, no judgment here. I'd love to invite our religious school kids to come help me with the song. Just come on up. You'll know what to do. Come on up. Just come stand up here. If you need any words. Because, come on up. Just come stand right here where you can see your folks. Because when we're singing Israeli songs, what language do you think we need to know? Hebrew. So if we're going to sing songs of Israel or read things about Israel or our prayers, we need to know Hebrew, which I understand when I came that the school here at Anshe Chesed were expert Hebrew singers and speakers and readers. You all expert readers? Yes, you have to say yes. Okay, good. So you're a little too close? Well, here we go. So you know what to do. You're going to repeat after me. Aleph, bet, vet. Gimel, dalet, hey. Vav, zayin, chet, tet. Yud, kaf, kaf. Lamed, mem, nun. Samech, ayin, pei, fei. Tzadik, kuf, resh. Shin, Jin, Sin, you gotta be Sin, Top. I know it's Sunday morning, we gotta, you all haven't had your coffee yet, I see, you're not quite awake. But I think because you did that so well and you know the Hebrew, I'm gonna ask that you lead us and we will respond. So you're gonna start. Ready? 1, 2, 3, sing. Aleph, bet, bet. Aleph, bet, bet. Gimel, dalet, hey. Good. Vav, zayin, het, tet. Yud, kaf, kaf. Good. Samech. Samech, ayin. Tzadik. Tzadik, kuf, resh. Shin. very much. Phew, now we know. Now we know Hebrew. So now when we listened and watched the videos and sing the songs, now we know what we're doing, now that our young people have helped us review all of our letters. So in a minute, we're going to watch two videos from another Israeli pop artist, not Tzvika Pick of blessed memory, who died, but very contemporary. His name is Hanan Ben Ari, and he is one of the most prominent singers in Israel today. What's interesting about him, he was raised in Karnei Shomron, which is in Samaria, the so-called West Bank. He grew up in an Orthodox Jewish household and studied in yeshiva religious school. His father was a cantor. But although he is religious, he really bridges lots of different divides between the religious and secular. He performs in mixed crowds. He writes music for female singers. And though he himself is traditional, he has 6 children, he wears a kippah, he goes to tefillah very regularly, and is Torah and mitzvot observant, he really feels strongly in egalitarianism and in the relationship of all Jews. So we're going to watch this first video, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about Hanan. There's a little bit of a delay with the sound, but you'll get a sense of it. This is a clip of him with his father as the very opening.
מי זה בא אליי בחלומות, בחגים בשבתות, מי שומר עליי בלילה? חנניה חנניה אין אצלו אשראי רק מזומן, השטרות מתחת למזרן, מי עבד השם לא עבד זמן, תל אביב אפגניסטן לא תמצא עוד כמו חנניה, מי עבד השם לא עבד זמן, תל אביב אפגניסטן לא תמצא עוד כמו חנניה. חנניה
So that's a little bit of Hanan. Sells out crowds. You could tell from the crowd mixed. They weren't all Orthodox. It wasn't a wedding. He's really very popular. This next video I wanted to also set up because his music sort of transcends stereotypes and labels, and his songs sometimes are hip hop, sometimes are punk, sometimes rap. He sort of believes that you can create really edgy music and still call it Jewish music, that it doesn't have to be of a certain style to be Jewish, but it can be Jewish if it comes from a Jewish heart and a Jewish story. And as a lyricist, he really likes to sing about social justice and issues that matter to the whole community, so has a pretty progressive and expansive view. And this is his song about what it is to judge people, right? That you would see him with his kippah and his 6 children and his yeshiva background and assume certain things about him and what he might believe. This is a clip from his song, Wikipedia.
כמה נוח לזרום עם המוח בהתניות אוטומטיות שלא דורשות לטרוח, רק לתייג ולנבוח, להסיט ולסבוח, לאלילי הרייטינג אייטמים בכל הכוח. הכל כבר מסודר לנו בראש, מגירות, לא ניתן למציאות להפריע לנו לראות שכל שמאלני הוא בוגד, כל ערבי מחבל מתאבד, כל חרדי הוא שודד וכל המתנחלים רצחו את רבין. כל תל אביב טבעונית, כל נתיבות מסורתית עממית, כל הדתיים פרימיטיביים עם ציצית, ועל הדרך מחקו את דרווין. אל תכלאוני בשום כלום, אל תסכמו אותי בוויקיפדיה, אני הכל, אני לא כלום, אור אין סוף לבוש בגוף, אז אל תכלאוני בשום כלום. תקראו לי דון קישוט שמעז לקרוא תיגר, שימו לי פרס על הראש וגיליוטינה בכיכר. השדים זמנם עבר והמלך הוא עירום, תמחקו את כל מה שידעתם על היד היום. לא הנוער המתנחל, לא נציג של אלוהים, לא דוס שמדיר נשים, לא גשר בין המגזרים. יישרפו המגזרים, ישרפו דעות קדומות, לכל אחד יהיה סיכוי לכתוב את הסיפור שלו. כי אם הכל כתוי וידוע מראש, קלישאות, לא ניתן למציאות להפריע לנו לראות כל מזרחי מקופח, כל חילוני הוא כופר מלוכלך, כל אנשים למטבח וכל הרוסים על סטלין. קלו כבר כל הקיצים, כל חבר כנסת קופה של שרצים, כל האתיופים רצים ואלו שלא שרים עם רייכל. אל תכלאוני בשום כלום, אל תסכמו אותי בוויקיפדיה. אני הכל, אני לא כלום, אור אין סוף לבוש בגוף, אז אל תכלאוני בשום כלום.
There's more. It's worth finding online. I think it's beautiful. But that's like today in Israel, this Hanam Ben Ari really, I think, shaking up and creating interesting dialogue in Israel about what it means to be traditional, but also trying to create a really diverse society. So the next little bit I want to share with you, I was actually a piece I sang on Friday night. Two of the pieces that I offered on Friday night come from a community called Beit Tefillah Yisraeli, and I don't have any video here of them, but you can find video of their community that gathers on the beach in Tel Aviv every Friday night in the summer. I'm inviting secular Israelis to walk by, and when they've done like news reports when they first started, I mean, there'd be people walking by with ice cream and in bikinis, and then they'd hear sort of interesting Jewish music on Friday night, and they'd stop and they'd sit. And for many Israelis, it was the first time they had been in any prayer situation, had ever sung Shema. And the community over the past 10 plus years has really grown. They also do services at the bus depot in Tel Aviv as well in the winter, as a way to try to bridge gaps between secular Israelis who might not feel comfortable in a synagogue. Esteban Gottfried is the rabbi. He was ordained at HUC in Jerusalem, and he started this community, and they have wonderful music as well. So this is a piece that they set to a melody that some of us will know, and a melody that was familiar to many secular Israelis as well, for the Ma'ariv Aravim prayer, the prayer we say on Friday night, being grateful for the bringing on of the evening. So sing along, you'll have the words as you figure out the melody as well. כשאני רואה בחלוני את שמוריק לך וגם לי, אני שר לעצמי איזה אחלה עולם. What's olam? World, right, so what a wonderful world. השמיים חולים, אנחנו לבן, והבוקר בהיר ובלילה אישן, ואחלום לעצמי איזה אחלה עולם. Next slide. בכל צבעי הקשת, יפים וחדשים, פרוסים אחרי הגשם על פני האנשים, והיום כה יפה וקל לי כל כך לומר שאני אוהב אותך, which means I love you. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And then the Chatima of the prayer, Baruch Atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravi. lovely that they translated the piece into modern Hebrew, contemporary Hebrew that folks in Israel would understand, but to a melody that was very secular and part of the canon, and then that those words were actually what the prayer means. So for someone who thinks, my life has nothing to do with prayer, well, if you appreciate the beauty of nature, that's actually what we do at night, is we say thank you, God, for the beauty of nature. So they've really done wonderful work engaging secular Israelis. There's a story of the children of Israel after they left Egypt, and they were wandering in the desert. Many, many years went by. As we know, they wandered and were sent astray, and it was time for them to enter the land of Israel. And a young boy and his mother were standing on the edge of a cliff, just looking into what was promised to them. And the little boy pulls on his mother's shirt and says, Mother, Mother, what is it that we're looking at? And she looks out at the beautiful things of nature, and she realizes that her child, even she, has never seen such things because they've been in the desert for so many decades. And they don't remember. And so she says, well, I think those big brown things with green hanging and red and orange things that hang down, I think that's called fruit. And those are trees. I remember back from when my mother used to describe them from when we lived in Egypt. Those are called trees, and you can pick those colored things and you can eat them. And he says, well, Mother, what is all that brown waving stuff down on the ground? And she says, well, that's called grain. And it grows up from the earth, and you can cut it down and with a lot of water and other things and mash it, and you put it in the oven into heat, and it makes delicious cake. And he says, well, that's amazing. And so God just put all of that there for us? And she says, no. She says, take your pinky and your pinky fingernail. So everyone look at your pinky fingernail. Just like look at it really close, how tiny it is, even if you have long nails. It's so tiny, your pinky fingernail. And she said, you take a seed the size of your pinky fingernail, and they put it in the ground, and with water, with rain that comes, and sunlight and air, it grows. All of those big, brown, tall, stick-like things called trees, and all of the fruit that comes and hangs that we can eat, and the grain that comes from the ground that we chop down and make into bread, it all starts with a seed. And the boy says, Mommy, that's not very nice. She says, what do you mean? He said, you're making things up. That's impossible. Because I know from wandering through the desert how food comes. And God brings it down in manna. It just appears from the sky, and then we have food to eat. That's how food comes. It's so simple. But you mean to tell me that a little seed could make things that come from the ground? I mean, that would be a miracle. That's impossible. Sometimes we think that the things that are so strange, like we think that manna, that food would just appear from God, could be some kind of miracle. But really, the miracle is that a seed the size of our fingernail just gets put in the ground, and everything we have to eat can grow from that. So this young boy couldn't even imagine. And so imagine if every time we ate something, we thought, that's a miracle, that a little seed like that could become the food we eat. Maybe it makes more sense that God just drops manna for us to eat. That we can explain. Not how a seed can turn into food. And so when they entered the land of Israel, they really saw the bounty that wasn't given by God, but was given by the beauty of nature and the way that God has created the earth to feed us. I'd love the young ones to come up again and sing 2 more songs with us. Come on up. You don't know what's coming, but you'll know what to do. I'm not worried. Don't be worried. Come on up for some more singing. Another song that you know, not necessarily Israeli, but reminds us that Torah, that learning, that being together in religious school at Anshe Chesed and Brit Shalom is wonderful ways for us to celebrate and to learn together. So let's see what you know. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Now the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Alo, ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, Sing out, sweet as honey, sweet. Let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah, sweet. Let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah. Very nice. Stay here. Stay here. Let's see. Let's see if you know this. Chug, 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 chug. You're looking at me like this. Chug, chug. You guys want to have it? We're going to learn it. Everyone do this. What sounds does a train make? Chug, 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 chug. Now we're going to be the bells.
I think we need some actions.
We do? Okay, you, Rabbi, you show us the actions then.
So for
He'll be my trusty assistant, the rabbi.
okay, so when we're chugging, we're gonna chug along. Everybody chug.
Here we go. Chug, 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 chug. Good. And then the second one that's dingling.
Second one, we're gonna ring a bell.
Like this.
We go like this. 1, 2, 3.
Like this. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot again. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot. That's right, Rabbi, get this on film. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Okay, now is the Hebrew part. Hine rakevet, which means here comes the, what's rakevet? Train. Shemistovevet, goes around. Al galgalim. What do you think galgalim are? What does the train go around on? Or, train itself is on wheels. Galgalim. Everyone say galgalim. And that sort of sounds like a wheel. Gal, 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 gal. It goes around and around. So hine rakevet, here comes the train. Shemistovevet, that goes around. Al galgalim, al galgalim, al galgalim. All right, it goes like this. Hine rakevet, shemistovevet, al galgalim, al galgalim, al galgalim, al galgalim. Toot. Hine rakevet, shemistovevet, al galgalim, al galgalim, al toot toot. Here we go. Toot. Now let's chug. Chug, 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 chug. Let's ding-a-ling. Here we go. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling, toot toot again. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Ding-a-ling. Look, even your parents are doing it. Ding-a-ling, toot toot. Hine rakevet, shemistovevet, stovevet, al galgalim, al galgalim, al galgalim. Hine rakevet, shemistovevet, stovevet, al galgalim, al galgalim, al galgalim. Toot toot. Oh, phew. That's a great train. Let's thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi, for helping us. Phew. I'm a schwitzy train up here. It's hard work to be a train. So fun. So this next, I got a break with the video. This next little bit of a video is from, it's a video of David Broza, who is also an Israeli singer-songwriter, grew up in Spain, in England, and in Israel. Also considered one of the most sort of prolific and popular Israeli singer-songwriters, particularly of the older Israeli music crowd. In 1977, he wrote a song called Yihiyeh Tov. Yihiyeh Tov, Yihiyeh Tov, Cain, sort of as a response to war and strife of what was happening in Israel. He actually recently wrote a sort of jazz Hebrew service for Temple Emmanuel in New York City. They brought him in to write a whole service. But he's sort of one who considered the elder statesman of Jewish music, David Broza in Israel. He wrote a film a couple of years ago called East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, about the tension and a desire to really make peace between the East Jerusalem side that is predominantly Arab with West Jerusalem. And so he made a film, and this is the song from that film. And he sings the song with Wyclef Jean, who's a Haitian rapper and musician. Some of you may know him also as a contemporary singer-songwriter. He came to the US when he was 9, and it was in a hip-hop group called the Fugees, which I knew of, and has been an actor and recorded many albums, has Grammys and other things like that. So this is a clip of their song, East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, David Broza from Israel and Wyclef Jean from here.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Same face in the Gaza is the same face I see out in California. Same face in Jericho is the same face I see down in Mexico. Same face in Tel Aviv is the same face I see out in New Jersey.
So many places all share the same faces. East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, Shalom, Salam. East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, Shalom, Salam.
Same face in the Haifa is the same face out in Nevada. Same face in the blues is the same face out in New Orleans singing the blues. Same face in London town, same face out in Kingston town.
So many places all share the same faces. East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, Shalom, Salam. East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, Shalom, Salam.
All of these videos you can watch all of online, but I think that's a beautiful sign of, again, different than when David Broza started writing in the 70s, of sort of collaboration and of thinking more universally. And some of the next songs I'm going to share with you are about how many Israeli artists, particularly as the world becomes more diverse, as Israel becomes more diverse and really faces sort of a crisis of identity, a lot of their musicians are trying to find ways to create relationship and understanding in the music that they write and that they produce. So this next piece you may know was written by Arik Einstein. He was born in 1939, also very popular Israeli singer and actor. Another pioneer of Israeli rock, is considered sort of the voice of Israel and probably the greatest, most popular singer of Israel in all time. This melody you might know, Ani ve'ata, you and I will change the world together. It's been said before, but we know this time you and I will change the world. Ani ve'ata nishane et ha'olam No, nishane, let's do it again. Ani ve'ata nishane et ha'olam. Ani ve'ata az yavo'u kvar kulam. Amru et ze kodem lefanav ze lo mishane. Ani ve'ata nishane et ha'olam. Et ha'olam. Et ha'olam. One more time. Et ha'olam. Excellent. Let's go on to the next one. This is a song called Adonai, Ivduet Hashem B'Simcha, written by Rabbi Or and Felicia Zohar. They're both currently he's a rabbi in Israel. He also went to HUC in Jerusalem, has a community in the Galilee, and he has been writing lots of Jewish music. He and his wife Felicia, she does a lot of embodied prayer work, meditation, movement therapy, was a choreographer for a long time. This song, they write mostly sacred music for services. Many of their melodies are sung in Reform congregations across North America, and they tour the States regularly. They're pretty amazing songwriters and wonderful people. And this song goes like this. Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha bo'u lefanav birnana Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha simcha simcha bo'u lefanav birnana. And the next part goes like this. I'm going to sing the words a little differently than are here. They just adapted it from another part of the psalm. Ki el melech gadol Adonai, 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 Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha. Lefanav birnana Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha simcha 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 bo'u lefanav birnana. That's Or and Felicia Zohar writing as we speak. This next video I'm going to show you is a little bit different, and in the past has sort of caused some interesting political challenges for these two women. Noah, who is formerly known as Achinoam Nini, is considered one of the most popular female Israeli rock musicians of all time. She was born in Tel Aviv in '69, lived in the States from about when she was 2 till about 17, and then she went back to Israel. She was influenced by the singer-songwriters of the 60s. She's sung with Sting. She's sung with people all over the world. She's sung for the Pope, a setting of Ave Maria, which is actually my favorite thing that she does. She's an extraordinary singer-songwriter on her own. Some years ago, through mutual friends, she became very close with a woman named Mira Awad, who's Palestinian-born, but a Muslim Arab living in Israel. And they write and travel together. They submitted a song to the Eurovision contest in, I can't remember what year this is from, 2006, I think, I'm not sure. They didn't win, but they submitted this song called There Must Be Another Way. I'm going to show you a small clip of it. They tour the States. They're often in New York. They've been to Philly. They're worth seeing if you can ever see Noah and Mira together. They're both extraordinary, and they have a great band that travels with them. Mira, who grew up in Israel, her family is Bulgarian, and she has a lot of Turkish influences, and she does a lot of hip hop. She also tries to cross the genres in Israel of all of this kind of diverse music, but she got a lot of flack for entering the Eurovision contest and as an Israeli submission, even though she lives in Israel, but because because she's Arab, and a lot of the Arab community was unhappy that she had submitted with an Israeli. But she does a lot of humanitarian work, standing up for women's rights and justice and trying to change the culture in Israel, but particularly in Palestinian societies. So this is Noah. She's the one with the really long hair. I think they both sing in Arabic and they both sing in Hebrew. There must be another way. Yeah, doesn't say what year. This was their submission at the line.
Must be another way. עינייך אחות, כל מה שליבי מבקש אומרות. עברנו עד כה דרך ארוכה, דרך כה קשה, יד ביד והדמעות זולגות זורמות לשווא. אנחנו מחכות רק ליום שיבוא אחרי. There must be another way. There must be another way. عينك بتقول رح يجي يوم كل الخوف يزول. بعينك إصرار إنه عنا خيار نكمل هالمسار مهما طال لأنه ما في عنوان وحيد للأحزان بنادي للمدار للسما العنيدة. There must be another way. There must be another way. There must be another way.
Also worth sort of finding them and checking out their music, both as individuals and together. So another song of coming together, Hebrew and Arabic, Jew, Muslim, Christian, of all peoples, a song you probably know. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. This was written for a band called Sheva. Moshe Ben Ari actually wrote the song, and the band Sheva is made up of Muslims and Jews who sing together and write together. So that's where the song comes from. Salam aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Before we end with two more songs together, one more video I want to show you. It's two parts, two clips of one experience. There's a group, contemporary, Michael Oakes, he's my age, Allah is also, who formed a group called The Pursuit of Happiness. They've toured the States off and on many times. They go to Reform congregations, some conservative they've been, no mosques yet, and lots of Christian communities and churches. They both met in a Oslo group when the Norwegians had a peace program where they brought together Palestinians, Israelis, and folks from Norway to talk about peace and collaboration. And the two of them met decades ago as musicians. Allah is a very successful Palestinian songwriter. He grew up in Gaza, now lives in the West Bank, ran a children's choir in Ramallah. It was considered very popular. Now he's often had to leave and live in places like Egypt because the Palestinians are not particularly happy about his relationship with Jews and in Israel. Michael Oakes is a very popular Nashville singer-songwriter, actually writes for Nashville country music artist, and actually is also one of the most prolific German pop writers. All the good German pop music was written by Michael. He's a phenomenal songwriter, and he's written quite a bit of Jewish music. I'm trying to think of what you all do of his. I sing a lot of his music. It'll come to me what you all sing of his in a minute. He writes a lot of Jewish music as well as the soloist of the congregation in Nashville. He's been to Ramallah 10, 15, 20 times to do work and a lot of recording there and to meet Allah's community there. And like I said, Allah comes to the States until recently, has a very hard time with his visa, and hasn't been to the States in a few years. I'm very good friends with them both. So when they travel, this is actually some of these clips. One is their produced video, and another is a congregation had them Zoom together to do Shabbat with them, a congregation in New Jersey about a year ago. And this is a clip of that Shabbat service that I pulled some of. So this is the Pursuit of Harmony, a little bit about their story and how they sing together. And they go, like I said, to congregations and churches and talk about coexistence. This is the
والعالم كله متوحد حينما طوف معي شبت أخيم גם יחד حينما طوف معي شبت أخيم גם יחד والعالم كله متوحد حينما طوف والعالم كله متوحد حينما طوف معي شبت أخيم גם יחד حينما طوف معي شبت أخيم גם יחד حينما طوف والعالم كله متوحد حينما طوف شبت أخيم גם יחד.
It's beautiful. I thought the song was finished, but the lesson that I learned.
This is about a
in writing
modim
this
that Michael
Jewish
wrote
piece of
and that
music,
Allah added some
and it's
Arabic
so
to.
beautiful to me that it took my Palestinian Muslim brother hearing it to finish it with me. And just to show you that the Arabic is both an answer to the English or it reads linearly on its own. So the opening line of the prayer is, for this tiny rock spinning in space.
والعالم وسيع, which means and the universe is vast.
And then you'll see that it continues down like this. In the video, the translation is there. So again, by the way, Modim Anachnu Lach in Arabic,
شكر والحمد لك.
we give thanks to you.
For this tiny rock spinning in space والعالم وسيع For the stars that know to guide our way من غيرها بنضيع For the promise of the human race موdim אנחנו לך For the leaves that fall in the autumn sun بنودع خريف To return once more when the springtime comes وضيج الربيع For the rolling hills and rivers that run موdim אנחנו לך In the face of true adversity, we alone can lead for freedom and justice and dignity, and the oneness of humanity. Modim anachnu la.
There's more. Worth also finding their videos and their songs. They have an album, The Pursuit of Harmony. So also just wonderful moments of collaboration and coming together in the sort of current Israeli society. The last two songs, also very popular women Israeli artists. Naomi Shemer was born in the 1930s and wrote most of her songs in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. In 1967, she wrote Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. She wrote it actually for the annual Israeli Song Festival, and they needed a song for a break in the broadcast, and the night before, she just wrote this song, which actually became one of the most popular Israeli songs. When Jerusalem was unified and reunited after the Six-Day War, the soldiers gathered at the wall and sang this song. So it became sort of this important song for all of us, but she literally wrote it the night before for just a break in the Song Festival. So the words are here, if you know them, about the beauty of Jerusalem. She writes that she was influenced both by trope. Torah trope was in her head. Her father, who was a cantor, some of the sounds of him chanting, and certain parts of the vision of what it was when Jerusalem was lit by the sun. All of that word painting was part of her experience when she wrote the song. We have the one verse here. It goes like this. Sing along. Avir harim tzalul kayayin v'reach oranim nisa b'ruach ha'arbaim im kol pa'amonim uvtar dimat ilan va'even shvuya b'chaloma ha'ir asher badad yoshevet uveliba. Before we sing the chorus, Yerushalayim Shel Zahav means Jerusalem of gold. Good, Jerusalem of gold, of bronze, and of light. Am I not a harp for all your songs? But when I come today to sing, I am full of the joy. So let's sing the chorus. Yerushalayim Shel Zahav v'Shel Nechoshet v'Shel Or Alon Nechosh Yirayim Ani Kinor. Yerushalayim Shel Zahav v'Shel Nechoshet v'Shel Or Alon Nechosh Yirayim Ani Kinor. Let's sing the first verse again. I will translate. The mountain air is cool and clear as wine, and the fragrance of pine comes in the evening with the sound of bells, and the city is deserted, and the wall is her heart as the city sleeps. So let's sing it again. Avir harim tzalul kayayin v'reach oranim nisa b'ruach ha'arbaim im kol ha'amonim uvtar dilat ilan va'even shvuya b'chaloma ha'ir asher badad yoshevet uveliba choma. Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or alon nechosh yirayim ani kinor. Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or alon nechosh yirayim ani kinor. And we'll end with another song that I know that you sing regularly. Again, like Tzvika Pick and that Shema and Shechianu was written by an Israeli, Nurit Hirsch. She was an Israeli composer born in the early 40s. She wrote Bashana Haba'a. She won the Eurovision contest in 1978 with one of my favorite songs, Abani Bio Bohebev, which is like Pig Latin. It's like Ani Ohev, Abani Bio Bohebev. It's like goop talk. Anyway, she won the Eurovision contest with that song in the 70s. But this is Nurit Hirsch and a song you know well. Thank you all for singing this morning. Well done.
Toda rabah. Thank you so much, Cantor Will, for joining us, for being here today in this wonderful program, and for joining us for Shabbat. And again, thank you to the Jewish Community Council for their support, and thank you to our partners at Bris Shalom. And now, let's join together in...
You've all really been waiting for.
Right? This is the song you really all want to sing. The song you all have been waiting for, Motzi. So that we can go directly to a wonderful, wonderful Israeli-styled lunch catered by Habibi and our wonderful friends at Habibi. So, let's join together. Motzi lachem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. It was really fun. Yeah. It's a nice group. Good turnout. Yeah, for sure. So happy.